Persiste garder pour être capable de comprendre que ou a palpité plus fort que normal. Ça gagne lève les dits ou t'as aimé confier yon petit secret qui a fait que moi content.
Today's video title is going to be Stop Reading All These Goddamn Metaphysical Books. All this stuff will confuse you. Let me explain something. Books are good, but books can become your worst enemy when it comes to your spiritual development. These books, let me explain something. I have read a lot of books in my lifetime. As a person who learned to read at a late age due to the fact that the American system of education didn't give a damn about whether or not I knew how to read or not. So I had to go to my country of Haiti to get taught good education in order for me to develop where I am to this day. Now, from me learning to read at a late age of 13, English, I took upon myself to read. I would say today that I've had to read over 1,000 books in my lifetime, and this is no lie. When I learned to read at the late age of 13, I became very addicted and passionate about reading books. And those people who know me from a youth until being adult, there is times people thought that, they would ask, how do I carry so much books? My fun as a child was to read. I would walk around in New Jersey with a book bag so full of books that I would have a backache. And I would bring all these books to my friend's house, and that's what we do. We discuss things and build and read. And that's all we would do. So even to the point where I went to college, I didn't even have to study, especially for history. Everything was in my memory from things that I read. So I was like a fucking genius when I went to college, So why do I say this? I say this because I read so much books, all types of topics, to the point where I noticed something in books was that everything became a regurgitation. Primary sources, secondary sources. Primary sources is written by the first person with the first original thought. And the secondary source came off of people that read the works of the originator of that thought. And what I began to notice was that human beings I noticed that with authors, there was no original thought anymore. So everything became a regurgitation. And in that regurgitation, I noticed that people who got concepts from other people, it's as though they started adding their own onto it and just ruining the ideas. So, another thing I realized with books was that just because something is in a book, it doesn't mean that it's true. There's a lot of rituals, especially in Aleister Crowley's work. I've utilized some of his correspondence, the 777 book. You know what I'm saying? I use the correspondence. Ain't nothing in that book work for me. A lot of those correspondences are rationalizations from a reprobate, calcified mind. So for me, none of that stuff worked. And I had to start realizing that I cannot put my emphasis in the works of man. I had to begin to intuit from my spirit, or the realm or the spirits around me had to begin to teach me. Because, I realized that there is a limit on what you learn in the physical realm. It can direct you in one way, but it is not the answer. So today, I speak from a person with experience. I am not speaking as a bigot to say that I know everything and what you believe is not so. Today, I do not have patience for stupidity and foolishness. There's a lot of people that say that I am very closed-minded. No, I am not closed-minded. I have learned to extract what is useful from what is not useful. Today, I simplify all the foolishness. There's too much foolishness out here. What you have to ask yourself sometimes is, what is it that you want to do? What are you looking to do with your knowledge? There's a bunch of useless knowledge out here. And I speak for black people, we do not need useless knowledge. This is why I emphasize what I emphasize when it comes to talking about chakras, kundalini, and yoga meditation. Black people do not need nonsense. We do not need useless knowledge, because it is not the time to have useless knowledge. I speak and make videos specifically for people of African descent. We have absorbed so much makakri, tintin. So in English I say we have absorbed too much monkey business and junk. Where today, when we talk about spirituality, you have people that say, electrons, protons, neutrons, dark matter, and they get all into this scientific junk. It is not that complicated. This is when you have a lot of people that want to sound very scientific in the things they do, and they want some type of validation. So they have to use these terms, and these things can become very confusing. So when I speak the way I do, it is not because I am trying to talk down to people. It is because I need for people to understand. It is the thing that I learned a long time ago. I remember a brother from the Nation of Islam told me this. He said what he learned from Elijah Muhammad, Minister Louis Farrakhan, was that speak so that a child can understand. Today, we speak in a manner because we want to sound we want to sound scientific. We want to sound very important. So we utilize all these terms, and sometimes these terminologies we use, and we don't even know what the fuck we're even saying. Come on. We have to do better than that as black people. We have to do better than that. We have to start thinking, we have to start thinking, in a practical sense. Why are we getting this knowledge? Why are we getting this information? Is it just to basically sit down and debate and say, oh, I got a little knowledge? Come on, that's not the purpose of this stuff, So with that said, I hope this video is very informative. And I hope that I've actually reached some people with this video. Thank you. Like and subscribe.